How's it going out there, guys? It is I, the warrior of the wasteland, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Andrew, back at you with another one. And today, we're going to talk about a very influential movie. It is 1982's The Road Warrior, starring Mel Gibson, directed by George Miller. This movie is so influential to the 80s as far as action movies go. You know, especially you get into the rip-offs, you know, like Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze and Warriors of the Wasteland, and, 1990, The Bronx Warriors. But this is the movie where it kind of started. The original Mad Max, in my opinion, is okay. This is a whole other level. So after some apocalyptic narration, you've got the character of Max, played by Mel Gibson. He's just trying to live his life and get gas out of these trucks. Here comes Lord Humongous's guys, and you've got the character of Wes here, played by Vernon Wells, who'd later go on to do Commando with Schwarzenegger, and his lover on the back of his bike. And, they're just menaces, and they'll kill and rape. So Max gets away from them and gets his gas, and he ends up meeting this gyro pilot out in the desert as he's trying to catch his snake. And this character's just kind of goofy, so he's got Max at gunpoint. Of course, Max gets the better of him. He's like, don't kill me. I know we can get gasoline, gallons of it, more than you could imagine. It's like, show me. So they go, and there's this refinery, where these survivors are at. And, they're manufacturing their own oil for gasoline. And, of course, you've got Humongous's goons from earlier, and they're trying to get this oil so they have energy for their vehicles. And the rest of the plot is basically these people here in this place trying to find a tanker big enough to take their oil from their refinery so they can go off and leave and go to a place that's nicer, go to paradise. And of course, Max, he tells him, I saw a tanker like that, I can get it for you. And, just them getting around Humongous and his goons. So straight away, guys, the cinematography in this movie is pretty good. I love how when they're up there on that mountain looking down at that refinery, you see that whole desert valley, and you just see how big this world of the Road Warrior actually is. When you see these, little ants down there fighting over this oil. To me, that was very impressive. I like that shot. Gibson's portrayal of Max is very good. Like I said, I like the gyro pilot. I like most of the people inside that refinery. They're not given a whole lot to do. The one guy who's the lead reminds me of like an old Lex Luger, if you know who that wrestler is. He's okay. I really wish they had spent more time on the female warrior with the crossbow. I felt like she had a story to tell there. It didn't really get explored. But yeah, they're holding off Humongous and his goons, and those guys are so well defined as bad guys. But Lord Humongous, he's kind of in this gimp outfit, with the metal hockey mask. I love that scene, where he's got, I believe it's Wes, and he's kind of got him in a chin lock. The veins on his head are just pumping. That was really creepy and weird. But I like that character. And of course, this movie would inspire all kinds of wrestling characters, not just the Road Warriors, who would get, their own ripoffs like Demolition and stuff later. But characters like Lord Humongous, who was actually back in the Territory days, that was a character that was around a lot of different territories. Sid Udy actually played him down in Continental and a few other places. And he might have actually been more impressive physically than the guy that they cast in this movie. But I like him. I like Wes. That character's off by Vernon Wells. I like the guy, who proclaims Lord Humongous's arrival, the Ayatollah of rock and roll. You've got that feral kid. That character's great. So yeah, character-wise, I really like the Road Warrior. Action-wise is where this movie shines, though. You got so many car chases. He's got that car with the turbo on it, and they've got NOS, and they're chasing. And the Australian stuntmen in this movie were just crazy. Some of the stunts they did, some of the bumps they took, flying through the air end over end, just wild. And I like that. I like that scene where Max has brought in the tanker, fulfilled his end of the deal, and he takes off, and the bad guys chase him down, and his car goes flipping. That's a really cool stunt. I like that he is helpless there, and of course it blows up, and I think he's dead. Just some great action, some great chases there. To me, this is one of the seminal action movies of the 1980s. As a matter of fact, I got on some forums here lately, and I like the movie Fury Road from 2015, I believe. I went to the movies with my good friend David Dowden to see that when it came out. and it's a decent movie, but I never thought it was in the league of the Road Warrior. And on these forums, it sounds like people like Fury Road almost as much or more than the Road Warrior. So I've actually brought up to the guys over on Macho Movie Madness, hey, we need to do a versus, especially considering Furiosa is coming out next year. We need to do a versus, the Road Warrior and Fury Road. Let me know down in the comments which movie you enjoy more. I think I like this a little more because it's not over long. The pacing in this movie to me is just masterful. It's just a little over an hour and a half. It's great. There's no, wasted, no filler in this movie. So to me, just for that, I edge it over Fury Road a little bit, which seems just a little bit over long. I like the character of the feral kid. It's kind of hokey, grunting. He can't really talk, but I guess that could be seen as a negative. But I really like him, and I like that he ends up narrating the story. I remember the Road Warrior, and he eventually becomes the head tribesperson of all of his people. And I like the camaraderie between Max and the gyro pilot. Halfway through the movie, the gyro pilot said, "Hey, we're partners." And that scene where Max is left for dead, he comes back for him. I really like those two characters, and I think to me, there's more stories to be told between what happens here and Beyond Thunderdome, which isn't a very good movie, in my opinion. But yeah, great action, great characters, great attention to detail, great landscape. There's only a few things about this movie that I don't care for. And there's some of the goofy stuff, like, they're at the end, they're having that big chase down that empty highway. And somehow, Humongous gets ahead of Max and, hits his nos and goes racing at him and basically commits suicide. Your biggest villain, you're waiting for this showdown, and it never happens because he races headlong into this tanker truck. It's been reinforced, with the steel girder on it. And to me, that seems like that was a wasted opportunity. So guys, as far as these movies go, the original Mad Max is okay. The Road Warrior I hold up really high. Thunderdome is what it is. To me, it's a very bipolar movie. I like the first half, Master and Blaster, and Who Run Bartertown, but the second half with the kids, and then you got Fury Road, which is really good. Really excited for the new one. Overall, I'm going to give The Road Warrior an 8.2 out of 10. I really appreciate this movie, and I think that it doesn't really get its due from the mainstream movie public. There's so many decent characters and so many good stunts in this movie. I absolutely love it. This movie actually played at the Palace in Springfield, Missouri several years ago, and I saw it at midnight and just absolutely loved it there. Great setting to see this movie on the big screen. If Alamo Drafthouse ever plays it in your town, be sure and check it out. So guys, I've got more sci-fi and action coming down the pike at you. I know I'm going to do Enemy Mine. That's coming up. Several other movies like Outland that I want to do, and Hell Comes to Frogtown. Let me know what you want to see down in the comments. But until then, guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I'm Andrew, and I'll see you down the line.